Hi there, everybody. Let's go through a couple tricks in Inkscape to relate colors, and we can work back and forth between Inkscape and ArcMap. So here's a really rough setup or draft layer for my final graphic, and I want my line chart, my line plot to have the same color that I've used in my map. Let's say I want to pull out, all these reds, and I want to match this red color to my ArcMap project. Well, one thing you can do in Arc is find the color that you're interested in. You can go into the layer properties and access these, or you can just click right on the symbol. It's showing me it's this color of red. I can go to more colors and it brings up the RGB. So you've got the CMYK, HSV, and RGB in here. So if you set that to RGB, you can see that's a pure red, 255 for the R, and then the green and blue are set to 0. That's kind of a lame example. It could be a more complicated color than that, but there you go. So now that we know what our RGB values are, we can go over to Inkscape and work on dialing in the color of this line. So first of all, holding down Control while you scroll with your mouse does the zoom. And you want to zoom in a little bit so you can see your whole graph. If I click on the graph, and you always want to be using this arrow here, make sure you don't double click and get this pen. It's a kind of a skinny arrow. You want to use the regular pointer and click on your line. Oh, that actually worked a little too well. Let's say that you're clicking and you're getting this whole element here. You want to right click and ungroup. Let me do that so you can see it. Try clicking on your line, and what you want to end up with is a square that just kind of bounds the line itself. Now that should open up over here. If you don't have this window open that has text and font and layers and fill and stroke, etc., that's fine. Go up to Object and you want Fill and Stroke. Control plus Shift plus F as a shortcut. So what you want to do is go over here and look for your fill and stroke. And notice here that you've got tabs. There's the fill tab, so this is inside a polygon. The stroke is the outside line of a polygon, or the color of the line itself. That's the term they use. And you can see here it's got tabs as well. So we've got wheel, which allows you to sort of rotate this and change the color this way, or you can drag around. So you can see my colors changing a little bit. It's gray, it's not this true blue because this circle is set inside there. So if I move that over, then it brightens up my blue color. But if we want to set it to match that red exactly, go to RGB, and for the red, just type in those values, 255, 0, 0. This A is the same alpha that we use in R, so that's just the transparency, and you can set that there. Boy, that sure doesn't look like red, does it? Well, that kind of stinks. Never mind, I just had to click on to make these take, basically. Okay, so we want it to be full strength, and there you go. We have a red that matches the red here. It's safe, I think, and a good practice to kind of select everything in your chart again and then right click to group. Hello, I know you can't see that, try it again. So that you can pick it up and move it as one independent thing. If you want to kind of crop it and get rid of this base piece, ungroup until you can pick up just this outside piece, and then you should be able to shrink that down. But remember, this all comes down to grouping and ungrouping layers. The other thing that you might want to do is make sure that you're proportionately changing these. Let me pick that up again and group it. Hold down the Control key, and then when you stretch the corners, it will maintain the ratio or proportions of your chart. If you don't hold down Control, you get wonkiness. And that's fine for the plot, but then I think the text gets all stretched out. And you don't want to have different text here than you do here. So be careful doing that. And what you might want to do is ungroup it and just change the proportions of the plot itself, but leave the text. You're going to deal with alignment things then. You're just going to have to decide what's easier to change, kind of pull all these into alignment secondarily, or just redo your text. Okay, that's it.